seem a little bit crazy maybe, but I haven't been live on Facebook and I don't know how long. Like years, many years. I don't know. It feels like a very, very long time. And I'm actually practicing. I've just finished a podcast interview with the incredible Christine Williams, and I've discovered that my podcasting software has the ability to live stream to Facebook. So that is what we're attempting and having a go at. Invite my 10 ideas come from, and that is to do a quantum leap experiment. So, are you going to join me on this quantum leap experiment? What is the quantum leap experiment? Well, I'm kind of making it up as we go. But I had been already thinking about doing something like this. I used to run a master class called The Anatomy of a Quantum Leap, where we break down all the different components to have a quantum leap in your business. And I thought, what do I need to do the same thing? So I thought we could all do it together, right? Do something different. So there are lots of different components to quantum leaping. Some of this information has come from the work of Price Pritchard. I love his books. He's got U Squared and another one, and it's all about quantum leaps. They're very tiny little skinny books. I have one of them here. This is one of them, and I have this one as well. So, they're super thin, easy reads, but really, really beautiful and really quite profound in their simplicity and their results and excitedness. So, uh, that's what I've decided to do. So I was like, right, one of the tenants, and also last week I had an astrology reading and he was like, why are you not getting your face on camera? And I was like, well, I'm doing my podcast and I'm loving my podcast, but I've been doing audio only podcasts. So not putting my face out there. So hiding a little bit, hold my hand up and admit I have definitely been hiding a little bit behind the podcast, behind my writing, all of that good stuff. So I'm calling myself out for hiding, for not being visible. And maybe you have been too. I don't know. You can call yourself out. But I thought, why don't I do something different? Get back on video, get back on doing something completely different and take you along for the journey. So I've committed to myself to go live every day until the solstice, which is next week. And during these lives, I will break down the anatomy of a quantum leap. We'll talk about it. We'll do some cool stuff. And I might also share just totally random things as well, because, that's how my mind works. But I'm already excited to share a little bit about somebody I've just discovered. We'll get into that another time, something to do with water. And also, one of the other things I am really all about at the moment, and what my podcast, so that's called The Flow Show, you should definitely check it out, has accidentally been about. It wasn't originally supposed to be about, but it's accidentally been quite often about planetary grid work and the flow stories and sacred travel that come as a result of doing planetary grid work. So I will maybe share some stories about that because it has just been blowing my mind recently. And you may also be on a planetary grid work journey. I don't know. Uh, but I will share a little bit about that as well and weave it in. So I wouldn't normally start here with the anatomy of a quantum leap, but one of the tenets of it is to do something different. So if I've not been live for many, many years, coming live is something different. That is the first step, right? So the one of the analogies they use in the book, and I haven't even read the book in a couple of years, so I should probably do that tonight and over the next couple of weeks. But he shared this story, if I'm remembering it right, of, have you ever seen, we're technically in summer in Scotland, but I don't know if I'd quite class it as summer. I'm in a sweater and it's barely hitting 15 if we're lucky during the day. And it's pretty miserable and it's raining at the moment. So technically it's summer. There are a few more insects and flies about, but if you have ever had a fly caught in your house and you are trying to get it out of the door, but it keeps flying into the window, and you've opened the window or you've opened the door right next to it, and you're trying to waft the fly right to the open door, but the fly keeps going headlong into the window. So I feel like when we are stuck in our lives and in our businesses, we are just going headlong into the window, and we're not necessarily seeing the open door that is right there. So really, it's really about just not doing the same thing, but like just trying a bit harder and expecting something different, right? We all know that old saying about the definition of insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So if, we don't want to be the fly trying to go through this window and just pushing harder, we want to like look for where the open door is, and it might be more obvious than you think it is. For you, it may or may not be doing something similar. You can go live this week if you want. It could be just making a post, it could be doing the outreach you're supposed to, but there's going to be some thing that you've been maybe avoiding, like putting your face on the internet, that will move the needle forward for you. So I want you to, if you're up for it, come along on the journey and pop down below for a bit of accountability what it is you haven't been doing that you want to call yourself out for, and that you're going to go and do today, tonight, tomorrow, in time for the next time I go live. So I'll be a bit more organized. Some of these things as well, I find that for quantum leaping, taking action quickly is always good. If you've had an idea, a divine download, as it were, I have been known to sit on these things for too long and the energy goes, or somebody else in this sort of big magic way of things gets the idea and does it before me. So, none of our ideas are original, but this one came to me this morning. So we're going to do it, and we're going to have some fun and see what magic we can create before the solstice happens. So if there is something you've been avoiding, and there is maybe an open door that you can stop just trying harder at the same thing and try something else, then let's do it. Let's do it for sure. So part of this quantum leap thing as well, it's about taking risks, right? Backing yourself. And I would call myself a naturally risk averse person, really. I used to be an accountant, right? It kind of comes with the territory. You're supposed to be a bit risk averse, or as I have sort of grown into, I quite like taking calculated risks. That was me being a little bit more carefree. And now I would say I have a lot more faith in uh in the universe, in God, in something else bigger than me, a higher power. And I find taking risks a bit more easy because I know I am supported in the bigger picture. So I guess could be described as being a bit risky. I don't have a plan. There's nowhere to sign up. I will tomorrow have a link that you can potentially join me on this live stream, which would be really cool. So I might post about that. And I'm just going to run with it and see what happens. So it is literally an experiment. And hopefully by tomorrow, I'll have a little bit more structure around it. But I wanted to dive into it while I'm sitting here having just done the podcast. The podcast episode will hopefully go up in the next couple of days. It was a really good one with Christine. She shared all about her soulful sales and really how people can get started in the coaching industry and how some of the common mistakes we make. And I really enjoyed it. It was a beautiful conversation. So I'll be getting that up. Also, taking the action, getting it done, and that will be available. So that's it. I'm going to leave it there because I do also have a massive tendency to talk for like 2 hours, and I'm going to leave it at 10 minutes. I'm quite proud of that. and we will see what happens. I don't even know if this has worked. I'm now going to go jump on my phone, see if it even worked. But we're taking the action, we're taking the risk, and we're doing something different. And that is the main thing. What are you going to do? See you later.